giving you now is if you Google worst presidential speeches in history, this is the #1 worst presidential speech in history. I'm not going to tell you why. I'll reveal that later. But I picked it because a lot of times when we have American seminal texts or formal texts by presidents or speeches by presidents or speeches by very famous political people, we don't judge what they say sometimes as harshly as we should. There are websites out there that when you are watching a political speech or you're watching somebody try to encourage you to vote for them, you can fact check what they say. Factcheck.org, there's several different ones, and I encourage you as you become adults to fact check the things that you see and hear on TV, and not just assume that because it is a presidential speech or a governor's speech that it is okay and free of error. Don't just swallow it hook, line, and sinker. So the activity or the skill that I'm going to try to teach you today is to be able to recognize irrelevant evidence, to be able to recognize falsities in text and fallacious reasoning, okay? Even in something a president or a governor or someone really high up would put out there. So this is Jimmy Carter's malaise speech. He did not call it the malaise speech. It's been titled that after, and he gave it in 1979. So the first part of this lesson, all I would like you to do is read through, and this is actually just an excerpt, so it shouldn't take you long. Read through this speech, and I want you to underline evidence that you find, and then I want you to rank it, okay? One being, this is really bad evidence. It's not working for his claim. All the way up to 5, this really supports his claim. Okay, so that's all you're doing is reading, marking evidence, and ranking it. 1, bad evidence. 5, great supportive evidence. Does that make sense?
So 1 bad, 1 5 good.
1 is bad, 5 is good. And you've got all 1, 2, 3, 4,
Wait,
5.
5 evidence or 5
No.
on the skill chart?
No. Underline all the evidence. And then if you want to, you don't have to do it while you're reading. You could go back and rank it. Okay, the best piece of evidence is 5, worst piece of evidence is 1, and then any in between there. All right? Okay, go.
Get that out of my eyes.
Hey vlog, this is Colin Carter reporting to you live. We're in action running down.
And make sure you put a number by each of the things that you underlined. 1, this is really bad evidence, to 5, this is really good evidence.
So it can't be like 2, 3, 4?
Yeah. Not one more minute. Don't think too hard. You're gonna get a chance to revisit it. Just kind of go with your gut. Okay, once you have your numbers, I want you to set it kind of to the side. We're gonna come back to that speech after the lesson, okay? So this is a table that I made that shows examples of good to bad evidence, okay? So pass that down. RJ, will you read the directions?
I'll
Read the
read it.
directions out loud to
Place
us,
star
please.
next to
No,
the-
wait. I'm gonna let you read something else.
I'll
All
read
right,
it.
RJ, you read the directions.
For the star mix to the evidence from the choice of the law that best supports the argument. For each choice, tell why you would or would not use it, then write a logical sentence that will follow from the choice explaining how the evidence supports the argument.
All right, so we have an example at the top. The argument is eating too much candy causes stomach aches. All right, so that is a claim. So we've got some evidence options. Colden, will you read us the evidence options? 1, 2, 3, and 4.
One time, my brother ate 60 Kit Kats and nothing happened.
All right, so if an author was using this to back up eating too much candy causes the stomach ache, and he decided to use the evidence, one time my brother ate 60 Kit Kats and nothing happened, why would we use this evidence, or would we use this evidence, why or not, why not?
No.
According to this, it opposes the argument. So one thing that might make the evidence bad is if it is oppositional. Help me spell this. 2 S's? That's not right, is it?
No, that was just one.
1 S. Opposes the argument. All right, Colton, read the second one.
I like Hershey Kisses best.
All right. Look at the reason that would not support this argument. What does irrelevant mean?
It's not needed.
Don't matter.
It doesn't matter. So a lot of times in speeches, somebody might use evidence that isn't even about the topic itself. Why would somebody use sentences in their speech that don't have to do with the issue?
Maybe they don't know what they're talking about.
Okay, they don't know what they're talking about. You should vote for me because when I was a very small child, I had a very hard life. Why would somebody choose to use that even though it's irrelevant to...
To make them feel sorry for you.
Okay, so it could be like a tactic to convince you.
Mhm.
Okay, they could be telling you what you want to hear. All right, Colton, read the next one.
My sister collected 3 bags of candy yesterday.
All right, so this one doesn't really match the evidence. It's a stretch. Have y'all heard your teacher say this is a stretch before?
No.
Okay, so that's like it doesn't really have to do with it. In your mind, it might a little bit, but you're gonna have to really explain it, and in your explanation, it's gonna be kind of convoluted, and it's gonna maybe not take you to as convincing of a place. It's not a clear match. Okay, and then read the last one.
Yesterday, I ate 22 Snickers bars and threw up.
All right. So remember our argument: eating too much candy causes stomach aches. So this one right here is an actual, tangible example of it causing a stomach ache. Correct? All right. I want you to do the bottom one. I made up this one. The argument is a college education isn't worth getting. Okay? Isn't worth getting. That's the claim. So I've got 4 pieces of evidence that I might use. I want you to decide which one would be the actual piece of evidence or which ones would be actual pieces of evidence that would follow that argument, and if not, why not? All right, give me just a second to work that out. All right, let's see if y'all can read my mind. Would we use that first one?
Heck no.
No,
Why?
it opposes
It's
the
a one
argument.
statement.
Okay, so which kind of those things up there does that?
It opposes the argument
Okay, how could it oppose the argument, Colton?
because you're trying to. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I think it's a bit of a stretch, more of, because it's an example of someone who does do fine without a college education, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will apply to you.
So you have to really kind of explain how that would work. What else? Anybody say irrelevant? Why'd you say that, RJ? Why do you think it's irrelevant?
Because my dad doesn't have fine, but like it's not about what somebody else thinks about you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What about I've never been good at school?
That's just retarded.
Maybe.
How would you never be good at school even if you got a diploma?
Okay.
Maybe.
So irrelevant?
No,
I say maybe.
I say
Why
maybe.
maybe?
Cause you can pass by high school,
Remember, we're trying to support this.
But college is is way different than
Okay.
high school.
What school?
So if it's a maybe,
If you're not good
up,
at it,
up there, why is it a maybe?
Because if you're not good at it, then it isn't worth getting.
Yeah.
So maybe a stretch,
Yeah.
because you'd have to really explain that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All colleges are full of liberal ideas.
Irrelevant.
So no.
Irrelevant.
Like progressive ideas, like ideas that maybe somebody might not align with.
It would definitely need like a whole lot more explaining in order to figure out how it supports.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is it possible for all colleges to be full of liberal ideas?
No.
That's extreme. So what is that up there? That's a better answer. It's false. That's just an exaggeration.
Because all
That
colleges
isn't
can't be
true.
the same.
I can't afford to go into college loan debt.
Yes.
Yes.
You think that that one would? That would be the best of the three pieces of evidence?
Mhm.
So if that one's the best, then what would the next logical sentence, I want you to read yours, because I thought it was pretty good. The next logical sentence.
College is only worth it if you can afford it or pass it.
So if you can't afford college at all, and you were to go in and make a lot of loans, and then have a job that didn't pay back those loans,
Go bankrupt.
that
Go
could
to
make a
school.
good argument, right? Okay.
Bankrupt trying to pay back student loans.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so good. You guys do really good with this. So what I want you to do now is work with your shoulder partner. So here, y'all are going to be three. And then here. This is an explanation on why the Jimmy Carter speech was not good, why it had bad evidence. So I want you to scan over it with your partner, and then I want you guys to go back to what you did at the beginning and see if you want to change any of your answers. Okay? Now that we've done the lesson. So read over this with I'll give you both one, and then discuss with your partner any things you want to change on your first go round. All right, maybe about 5 minutes, and then we're going to share it well. About 5 minutes to read over it, and then about 2 minutes to talk, and then we'll share out.